Hello everybody, it's vanburman here, and just a quick-ish sort of video just to go over my initial thoughts on the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo that I played. I'm well aware that there are copies out there in the world and people have played them and no doubt will already have answers for all the questions and quandaries I'm going to be addressing in this video. But, for my own posterity's sake, I'm committed to giving my opinion on this, as is, or as my understanding is. So first thing I really wanted to say is that there is a lot of kudos that I have to give to Square Enix on this one. I think they've made a game that will, once again, for the time, appeal to a mass market, will appeal to a lot of people who have never played Final Fantasy VII but will have heard of it. And I think, that is a demographic that they probably will admit that they would struggle to get into and get them, really sort of engage with it. And, yeah, it's an easy sell for the nostalgia crowd like myself. Whatever they make, I would, I myself was going to play it. You do end up losing out on a certain subsection of the old school fans, without by just changing up the battle system, changing up the dialogue as well. This is not done in the same way that Crash Bandicoot has, or Spyro, or Medieval. It's not like a remaster, or I suppose it is a remake, but it's also a reimagining, because areas will be different, characters are different. There's a lot more emphasis on the Avalanche characters now, as has been well portrayed within the demo, just in the bits that I played. Jessie is a lot more overt in how she feels about Cloud. In Final Fantasy VII, the PlayStation 1 game, you had to sort of infer that from her actions and, the sort of fleeting interactions with Cloud, to show that there was some affection there, and that comes through in a less overt way, whereas I think Square Enix in this particular instance are trying to make it so there's absolutely no doubt as to what's going on there, which is, for me anyway, a bit unfortunate that they've moved away from the original story script. Things are in their place as they are, and it's almost like they're trying to go back and rewrite a great novel. I don't think we should really be looking to do that. I think as a game company, as an art company, you make a piece of art, you don't necessarily then go back and redo it. I know there's the argument that songs are remixed and remixes can be better, and I get that, but Square Enix, to have a bit more credibility, I think should be going out and making their own game that's as good as Final Fantasy VII, not relying on its name to make it sell. There's lots of other bits that, although if we dial it back a little bit, I can say that I thoroughly enjoyed the demo, actually, in spite of my opinions and in spite of what I know people of my particular thought or ilk with regards to this will think. And it's probably something I can actually play, and may well even enjoy it, believe it or not, which will come as a big surprise. I bought a PlayStation 4 especially just to play this when it comes out, and it's one of those sort of historic moments in gaming. It's a bit bigger than the Crash Bandicoot remake or any of the other ones that have come out. This is a proper big hitter, company defining, genre defining, almost masterpiece level, even though not in my top 5 Final Fantasies, probably, maybe 5th. But in terms of its actual appeal and how it got and how it just, transformed a bit of a generational push. We had The Legend of Dragoon and many other, JRPGs come over. Obviously, Legend of Dragoon was made by Sony America, I believe. Anyway, not the point. But yeah, so it's just interesting to see how that, how that does. I think Capcom have probably done it the best so far, in my opinion, and Activision. You know, they're very much sticking to the formula, whereas Square Enix is obviously offbeat a little bit. And I think it's quite interesting that they released a statement to say, you know, that they were shipping copies early because of the pandemic, which makes sense. You know, you don't want people to miss the release date. But then, of course, as a consequence, you get some people receiving it, you know, before I even downloaded the demo, effectively. Which proves, you know, has issues in of itself, because there'll be, in one set, the people who've never played it, and in the other set, the people who have played it 3 or 4 times, or 5 or 6 times, or however many times, and know the game inside out. But there's a, you know, huge amount of variance of what they will actually see in the game. So, yeah, it's just a bit interesting from my point of view as to, you know, how they've gone about that. You know, they've just asked people not to spoil it, which I think is the best way. You know, if you go out to people and explain the situation and why you've done something, I think a lot of people will be receptive to that. I certainly, if I had got the game early, wouldn't be sharing any of the main game spoilers, per se. Maybe I want to mess around with the summoning and all that sort of stuff, but if anything is completely different, then, you know, I think we do have an obligation until the release date to sort of keep that as is, if and when we can. Not that I necessarily, for me personally, agree with changing it up. You know, I think it's perfect in its imperfections, really, and I think that goes for a lot of games media that, you know, is created, which, once again, as I mentioned, why I appreciate the work that has been done from Activision, or Activision's partners, whoever it was who made those particular games. Anyway, I'll leave that thought with you for now. If you are interested, I will be putting up some Final Fantasy VII stuff, but if I do receive it early, it will not be spoiler. There'll be no spoilers in there, as in anything that's different from the original, I will attempt to remove or censor if I do. Knowing my luck, I'll probably get it late, but that's just the way of the world. I'm too busy playing Mount & Blade at the minute anyway, so I'm going to get back to that. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my little discussion piece. Let me know what you think, and I know especially quite a few of the people who do watch me regularly are quite intrigued for this entry, and will no doubt enjoy it, actually, to be fair. You know, it seems to provide a good mix of the old and new for those sort of people. You guys who watch me. No. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.